All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shemai, Shabbat, Shon, Kakwadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, to that I came out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Yeah, I just wanted to do this lesson in regards to this one article that's spiraling the internet in reference to these 150 plus Catholic priests that basically got convicted for sexual assault of children, we know it, and it's like it gets to the point where it's like, when will you people wake up to the wickedness in these different institutions and these different religious sects? Starting off with the apostles on down, we've been speaking about the wickedness in Christianity, Catholicism, Methodist, Protestant, whatever, Jehovah's Witness, Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness, all these different religious sects. They're filled up with demons, man. It's all kind of evils that go on. Adultery, the scriptures speak about how Jake, exceeds the sins of the wicked, So you'll take your children to these different religious functions, trying to dissolve them and cleanse them of their wickedness, but you're putting demons on them. That's as it is written, the surely of your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay. Most people lose themselves in those churches, man. They have a false notion of whom the world calls Jesus Christ.
Take exit 106 to merge onto University Park.
They make it seem like God loves everyone, and then they proceed, which that's the indoctrination. All right. If you join anything, whether it's religion or, let's deal with like the mafia. The first steps of the mafia is you have to take a blood oath. All right. If you want to get into a position of they got capital regimes and made men back in the day, but right prior to you actually getting into the highest offices, when you actually start off as a foot soldier, I seen this one guy, Michael Francis, speak about how you have to take a blood oath, and they'll give you speaking of Roman Catholic, it would be like what he had to do is he had to get Virgin Mary, a photo of her, and set it on fire and burn it in his hand, and it was a few other things that they did, and it was basically the blood oath that they would never tell on, they would never use deception in that life, which is the first indoctrination, and then they would proceed to engage in ill practices, robbing, extortion, defraudment, embezzlements, things
Use the right two lanes to take exit
money
106
laundering,
to merge onto University Parkway toward Lawrenceville.
things of that nature, And guess what? These religious sects do the exact same thing. A lot of money is clean in the churches. If you're dealing with money laundering, and these different church pastors take a 501c3 charter, which is a gag order, to not speak about things that ought to be spoke about.
8.1 miles.
That's why I
speak
speak about how they prophesy lies and deceits, man. They're talking that bullshit on the pulpit. And all these different pastors and these different religious leaders, they have the art of manipulation down pat, man. It tells you in the book of Proverbs, watch for the wicked man, the forward man that winketh with his eyes and teaches with his hands, also different things with his feet, and we see that with these different pastors, shucking and jiving on the pulpit. They got all these dance moves, and then the choir, is basically a legion of demons, because they don't know no better. Them choir, whether it's older or younger in the choir, but they don't know no better, man. Because the scripture says what in Revelation, the 1st chapter, blessed is he that readeth. People in the church don't read. Jake does not read. right, and let's say, all right, yeah, I do read. I read the book of Timothy. I read the book of Titus. I read Philemon, Philippians. You know, that's getting a little exotic what the church is talking about Philemon. A lot of them don't even know what that book is. But yeah, I read these different books. But you have something deeper than reading. It's called reading and comprehension. All right, that's why I said blessed is he that readeth. And if I'm not mistaken, it also goes into the understanding of the book, man. You know, so it stands up under you as a foundational piece, and you know how to rightly divide the word of truth. All right, not wrongly dividing these words of truth. And these pastors wrongly divide the word of truth because it all stems back from slavery, man. They got the slave doctrine down pat, you know. And we read these different inscriptions, man. We know how manipulation works. Now, we don't use it.
Stay in the left 2 lanes.
You know, because there's a righteous way to manipulate and a wrong way to manipulate. Paul spoke about, you know, that basically beguiling you unto the truth. You know, so because these people are being bewitched, and then they'll see what we do. You know, like how Paul spoke about the Corinthians, O Corinthians, who have bewitched you, you know. But then we have to do the brainwashing, spiritual brainwashing. Now, there's nothing wrong with brainwashing in the right regards. You have wicked brainwashing, you have righteous brainwashing. Yahweh Shah spoke about the washing of the water of the word, man. You know, now you have a new speak, you know, where it'll break down brainwashing, you know, and it's new speak, but it's a compound word. Your brain's supposed to be washed, cleansed from the filth of this world, man. You know, because this world puts you under a strong hypnosis, and let's revert back to this Catholic situation. These individuals in this Catholic firm, they can't, you know, really speak out. You know, now, I mean, it came out the pipeline. Pretty sure the officials, you know, the judges in the courts, you know, individuals in that circuit are taking care of it, so to speak. But guess what? How many more are running rampant? You know, and these Catholicism, and all these a lot of these religions ain't nothing but a cover up for child sex trafficking, man. You know, because how many children have got molested in the Catholic Church? They want to ban a guy like Kanye West for speaking out about anti-Semitism and things of that nature, but nobody's putting out a public ban on Catholicism. You know, they are viciously raping and molesting little boys, man. You know, and I mean, the majority of them are Edomites, you know, and that's the thing that Esau do. That's why the Lord,
stay in the left 2 lanes.
Joel was speaking about, man. You know, he wouldn't even set them with the dog of his flock, man, because that's what these devils get into, man. You know, overseas here in America, you know, they're big. Oh, when in Rome, this is the incarnation of Rome. When it's saying go, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, and those Roman officials, you know, they were very, very highly engaged in sexual practices with little boys, man. You know, they had all kind of perverse nature about themselves. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it said Caligula married his horse. You know, Caligula Caesar. Those Caesars were disgusting, man. You know, and they all had some type of wicked. Matter of fact, through the Spirit, I'm a little willing, you know, try to get with the brother Kosh. You know, I know he was doing certain things on these different heads of these different Caesars. You know, but when you watch these different shows and things of that nature, you see, man, these guys are demons, man. You know, I watched Spartacus years ago, and it was just showing you how they have the Roman, what they call it. I just say the Roman style mansions, and they would have all the gladiators at the bottom, you know, practicing all kind of ill nature amongst themselves. They were big on homosexuality in the gladiatorial times, but you know, they would do all kind of orgies with those gladiators. You know, hell, they got to the point of doing drugs. You know, it was all kind of wicked, and that was just one house. You know, it was the house of Badiatis, but they had various houses where it was just it was straight chaos, man. You know, and when you go into these different religions, the same thing goes on, man. You know, that's why the Lord spoke about Babylon, who are worthy of being destroyed, man. Babylon, this network is a network of wickedness. It tells you that in the book of what is that, Isaiah or Ezekiel, where it deals with Esau and his traffic. You know, speak about all the wicked practices that he engages in, man. It also speaks about that in Revelation 18, how he controls all markets and enterprises, and he puts his witchcraft within it to keep you hooked and highly addicted, man. That's the art of how witchcraft works, you know, because a lot of these individuals, if it's 150 of these priests that got caught up in this sexual scandal, how many of those family members in those families are going to actually resign, you know, or leave Catholicism? Not many, you know, because that's all they know. All right, they don't know how. Going back to reading, they don't know how to actually read the Bible and rightly divide the words of truth, man. You know, so they'll look at it and they'll make an excuse, you know, and they'll say, "Oh, it's just them." But this practice has been going on since the start of Catholicism. Now we know Jake, you know, played a major part in the creation of that. But when Esau got in there, that's when a lot of that, you know, basically he changed up which was already wicked. Catholicism already is doctrine-based, you know, it's already blasphemy in itself. But when Esau got into it, he started adding all kind of attachments. You know, certain politicians use religion.
2 miles, turn left onto Progress Center Avenue.
These different organizations, they conjoin with religious backgrounds because it brings power, you know, and it's power from the underworld. This is the underworld. You know, the scriptures speak about the God of this world, and the God of this world is Satan. So when you actually join these different religious groups, you get power. You get a high level of power, but it's on the left-hand side. And that's why they control people on the left-hand side, and they use them for extortion. They extort them, you know, and they don't physically have to, they robbing them without the gun, you know, because they have to pay a heavily amount of tithes. And these individuals in these families, they're not going to get, you know, what they call it, payouts, you know. They're not going to get heavily compensated for the troubles of these different religious groups, and nor is these different religious locations going to get shut down either, because it's big business. It's just like cocaine. Yeah, you do a couple drug busts, but you don't break down. You don't shut down the cocaine enterprise. You know. Even I seen a video with the Colombian president. And he said that he was like, "Yo, this is our GDP. This is a mass amount of our GDP is cocaine. You know, so we can't shut this down. This is our business. This is our bloodline. You know, where the blood of the life, the heart of cocaine, is in Colombia. You know, so these individuals know that they're attached, and they sit at these high seats, whether it's the presidents or the prime minister, and they control the left as far as well as the right. You know, that's how you know this is Satan's kingdom. You know, well, they can't really fully control the right, which is righteousness, but they'll put judges, and they'll put you know, give you a jury and things of that nature, and they'll give you a penal law and penalize you, you know, under the guise of the law. But we know it all is you know, designed, you know, to keep certain people under law and order while they transcend above.
Stay in the middle lane. That
threshold of law, and they live impervious, man. You have something known as diplomatic immunity. All right, that's why Esau is known as the anointed cherub. You know, but if it gets too dirty, some of them have to get these presidents, because you have a government behind the government too. So it ain't nothing to clamp down on a president like Trump. He got clamped down. He's just a figurehead. There's so many faces behind those faces, you know.
Use the
Man
left lane
behind the
to
man.
turn onto Progress Center Avenue.
But like I said, going back to it, that's why it says Babylon.